Hey guys, how are you? Today we're going to talk about progress over perfection. February, first quarter this year, we were talking about clarity and purpose and intentional living and progress. And there are a bunch of expressions that say things like perfection is the enemy of progress, perfection is the enemy of great, um, those kinds of things. February's here, March is here. What are we doing with our New Year's goals, intentions, and aspirations? This is the month that you can really get momentum or you could stall. Um, you know, what is going to be your choice in the matter? So let's talk about that. Done is better than perfect. That's my favorite. At the end of the day, it's not about perfection because perfection gives us the excuse or the ability to procrastinate. I just don't have it perfectly done. It's not perfect. I'm not completely in. I'm not completely done. I just don't know what's missing. I'm missing something. I don't have this. I don't have that. I can't get started. I can't move forward. Why? Why not? That's my question to you. My question to you is, what's preventing you from making progress? Perfection is a trap because what ends up happening is life is compounded interest. A little change here, a little change there, a little action here, a little action there. And before you know it, you've got momentum. What is that thing about the butterflies across the world? They flap their wings and across the world, we can create tsunamis. Like all of these physical and metaphysical analogies are relevant. So let's get moving. Let's get started. Let's make sure we don't hold ourselves back waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions. It's just procrastination. That's the reality because nothing is ever perfect. So you can't have an all or nothing mindset. Let's not believe that if we can't do something 100%, we shouldn't even attempt it because you're going to miss all the baskets you don't take, as Michael Jordan once said. So let's forget the all or nothing mindset. Let's try real change in small, tiny, consistent increments and micro decisions that eventually add up. So, what's a micro decision that we could be taking? Well, let's say you want to get fit. Well, walk up and down the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Small micro action, compounded interest at the end of the month, you can X number of steps in addition to what you already have. You want to start eating better. Micro decision, you're in the conference room, don't reach for the bagel, reach for the fruit. Don't reach for the pizza, reach for the salad. Don't reach for the hamburger, reach for the grilled chicken. Small, tiny little decisions. You want to raise a independent child, don't helicopter them and don't snowplow them. And for those of you who don't know what snowplowing is, it's when you take all of the obstacles in front of the child out of the way of the child so that they never have any adversity or any challenges or anything in their path. What that creates, however, down the road could be some person who is completely dependent on you removing all obstacles in their life out of the way before they can do anything. What that might create down the road is somebody that can't do anything for themselves and potentially will live on your couch in your basement when they're 40. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But you have to remember that small incremental choices, small incremental actions are what is going to get you the things, the objectives, the goals, the progress that you say you want. So I said I wanted to have flexibility in my work life integration. I started my business 26 years ago, and Steve and I had decided that we would buy a home that was literally one third less than what the bank was telling us we could afford. Now, why would we do that? We did that because we didn't know what we didn't know. What if he lost his job, which in corporate America happened a couple times. So that happened. What if I had a bad year? That happened. What if there was a recession? That happened. What if the stock market crashed? That happened. Hmm. And yet we were able to save enough money to send both kids to private school, college, and not have them have any debt. Why were we able to do that? Because we planned to have a 15-year mortgage, not a 30-year mortgage, so that by the time our daughter went to college, we could pay for her tuition out of what we call the operating budget, not take out loans or not get ourselves or her into debt and not change our standard of living. When other people were getting beach houses, second homes, we didn't. Why? Because we knew we wanted to be able to have the life we wanted and make the decisions we wanted to have later in life. And now we're in the position where we can make those decisions and have flexibility. Small decisions back then helped me today. What is a little micro decision? It's micro decisions about anything, whether it's wellness and health and fitness and finances. And now I'm able to be more philanthropic and give back to organizations and charities that mean something to me, that have alignment with my goals, values, and objectives. And so that's great. I'm able to do that. I was able to host a women's retreat in October and I lost a lot of money on it. But I was able to subsidize that. Why? Because I think that the mission that I'm on is the right mission. And I'm passionate about it. And I can subsidize it when it gets into a rocky road. I can subsidize this podcast. Do you think that podcasters make money unless they're really, really well known and they've got a lot of sponsors? This isn't something that is giving me revenue, but it is giving me joy and it is helping other women tell their stories and be more in the public domain with their journey and their objectives and their contribution and community. So we're all making these micro decisions and these things that will give us progress and that will give us the outcomes that we say we want. So that is the power of making micro decisions. Every day we're choosing how to spend our time, what we focus on, how we react. We make small decisions. Do I pick up the donut or do I pick up the fruit? Medium decisions. Do I sign Junior up for yet another sport or do I not? Big decisions. Do I marry this person or do I not? It's every minute of every day we make small decisions. Don't underestimate the power of those small decisions and the compounded interest that they will have in your life down the road. So be thinking about intentional living, not default living, not the idea of, well, I got up, I went to work, I let my email dictate my day. I go home, I have dinner, my family, I watch TV, I scroll social media for 2 hours, I go to bed, I rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Are you on target? Are you living intentionally? Are you prioritizing your time and your values and your goals before other people's? Or are you trying to be a people pleaser? If you're trying to be a people pleaser, it's not really going to pay dividends in your life. And you don't want to be one of those people on their deathbed, like Bronnie Ware tells us. And I mentioned this in the book. She's a hospice nurse. She wrote a great book, said The Five Regrets of the Dying. And the five regrets of the dying are, I wish I had the courage to live my life on my terms, not on what other people expected of me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I had stayed in closer contact with my friends. So the point is, we don't want to have these regrets as we go through life. So let's talk about intentional choices. In time blocking and prioritization are important. We have to schedule things that matter to us first. We have to block, and I talk about color coding, and you've heard me say this a million times. Look for the things that give you joy. If you don't have enough of the colors that give you joy, whether for me that's fitness, self-care, family and friends. If I don't have enough of those colors in my calendar, I know I'm out of whack that week and I got to make some choices. What can I delegate? What can I push off? What can I not do at all? What can I make it? What meetings can I make for half the time instead of an hour default. Let's make it a 15-minute default. That's a setting you can do in Outlook and in Google. What meeting could be a half an hour, which actually in the quick meeting setting is actually 25 minutes. What can I delegate to somebody else? What doesn't have to happen at all? What could be an email rather than a meeting? And have I made social commitments with people that don't give me joy? Are we dealing with Debbie Downer on a weekend? Are we dealing with your sister's mother-in-law's daughter's baby shower that you don't even know? Are you committing to stuff like that? Is that giving you any joy? Because it's okay to say no. You know why it's okay to say no? Because when you say no, you get a yes back on your calendar. And I'm all for the yes. So let's go back to intentional choices over autopilot. Let's catch ourselves in the moment of making decisions that don't line up with what we want to do, or indecision, which is basically more or less procrastination. Let's let go of the perfect outcome. Progress happens when we stop obsessing over how it looks and focus on how it feels. That's progress. So a 1% improvement every day compounds to exponential growth over time. So again, back to that. So make one or two micro decisions every day. Write it down, share it, or just commit to it. One small thing toward your goal every day. That's what I want you to do. That's your challenge. Write it down, share it, or just commit to it. One small thing every day. If it's not the donut to the fruit, if it's not the stairs to the elevator, if it's not the walking instead of riding or driving, if it's not the chicken versus the pizza, if it's not the let me listen rather than judge, let me, whatever it is that you think you need to work on, make that small one decision every day. I hope this episode resonated with you. I'd love for you to subscribe and rate it and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Thank you so much for listening, Possibility Seekers. Appreciate you. Love and kisses, Monique.